Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Kellyscards.ca, and I thank you for joining me for this fourth card in my card kit series. This card will be a little bit different than the other cards, and I'll show you how, because what I've done is I have taken a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and I've scored it in half at 4 1/4. I've turned it and then scored it in half again at 5 1/2. And when you do this, you're going to get basically 4 squares. And what I've done is I have cut out this 4th square. And when you put this together and you close this down this and over like this is what you should have. And this is the base we will be working with today. To start out, you will find this card mat that's already been sewn for you. You can put the ribbon on like I've done so. I've just used a little bit of tape to prevent the ribbon from moving around. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to adhere this all the way around, and we're going to adhere it right to the card mat. So we can just stick this down like this and just push it on to make sure it is on there. Now that that's on there, we can start building up the image. So you'll find a scalloped mat, a purple mat, and a image with this teacups. Now if you take a look at this teacups, it used to be red, but what I've done is I've photoshopped it to be purple so that it will match the colors of this card perfectly. And to help pull the purple out of this image, I have used a purple mat here in between the main image and the green scalloped card mat. And it just helps, as you can see, pull out the purple from the image. So what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this down. We'll just use a little bit of adhesive here and we'll adhere that down like that. And same thing with the image. There, we have it all layered up, and I just love how that looks. And I think it's going to look really great on our card here. So you'll also find a green flower with a colored brad in your kit, and this is going to sit on this side. And this flower takes up a lot of room, but I really like how it balances the card because this image is so big, but this space is fairly empty. So what I did was I used these savory dies. This is a fern laurel, and this is actually I had to buy from Ellen Hudson because I couldn't find this die in too many places, so that's where I bought this die. And I die cut out of this same purple paper and this green background paper these little ferns, and I think they'll look really great if we kind of tuck them under here like so, just to add something in behind the card. I'll probably have them a little bit closer. So first thing is what we're going to do is we're going to want to put these down first, and then the image, and then lastly the flower. So we'll take this off and we are going to adhere this down. What I'm going to use is my Xyron. This is the bigger size that's available, and again you just insert your die cut through the window and you carefully will pull it out on the other side, and then it will become a sticker. And this is really, really good for all of these little die cuts that are so little. And as you can see, I just pull it out here and that comes off like that. And once you've done this, you just really need to rub all of these little tiny areas so that the glue will stick to where it's supposed to, and it will just make it easier peeling it off. So now I'm going to peel off this top layer here, like it's really sticky. And then I'll have my 2 ferns that are now stickers, and again I'm just going to place everything so I know where I want them. I'm going to place this purple one first because I want it closer to the green flower. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to take the green one off. and place it as well. And I want a little bit of it layering on top like that. Now you might find that you have a little bit of adhesive still showing, and you can just run your finger back and forth carefully and you'll get rid of that extra adhesive that will be from that sticker runner. There, now that I've rubbed that on there, you can see it's nice and flat. It's not going to go anywhere. And then we can come in and we can add our image, and then lastly the flower. I like to use pop dots to add the dimension, just to pop it up to make the image really stand out on this card. So before placing it down, I'm just going to bring my flower in and make sure everything's working together. And I like it about... And there the image is on nicely. And before I put the flower on, which I'm going to actually do last, I'm going to open it up and we're going to take care of the inside of this card now. For the inside of this card, what we need to do is create this little punched out area, and all I've done is taken a 1.5 inch circle punch, and really any size circle punch will do, and I've just punched out this little notch. Reason being is when we put this down, this is going to allow us to have a pocket here, and you'll find this mat in your kit, and this just inserts in here. Before we get to that, we have to close up this section here. So you'll find this piece of cardstock that's been scored, and what we're going to do is we're going to use some score tape, and we're going to close it up on both sides. So we'll put some on this side, and I like to put it right up along the bottom so that this part won't come up. And I'm going to just take this and rotate this piece up. You can align this straight with the top, and then you can push this flap down. And before we close this up, what we're going to do is just take a wet adhesive. This is just Tombow Multi, and we're just going to run a little bit along the edge just to close up this section like that. And then we can fold this over and it will be perfect now. Now because we lost the edges here of the rounded corner like this one is, I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and just cut the circled edge on like that. And then I have to do the inside here like that. And now this is closed and this is closed, and we have this wonderful little pocket that we can just insert this into. And now we're going to decorate the inside of the card. You'll find this purple pattern paper inside your kit, and what we're going to do is we're going to place it down exactly where we want to put it, and then with a pencil you're going to find those circle grooves so that we can punch this area. Now if you can get your punch into here, all you have to do is adhere it down and get your punch in there. But another way of doing it is taking your pencil and lining up along where we have already punched on this white. Now when we take our punch and we punch it, we line our punch up to where those pencil marks are and punch that out. That should fit perfectly now on our card. If you have pencil, you can just erase it. We've just used it for the line, but now that's going to sit down there perfectly. So now we have to adhere this piece. So I've just taken the adhesive off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this down. Now if you want, you can ink the edges just to add some interest to this area. There we go, just like that. And now that's decorated, but we still have this pocket, and that's going to look pretty great with having that piece in there. So now you can write whatever you want to the recipient. There's lots of room, and then you can pull this out and you can add a picture here. You can add more journaling. This spot is really like a bonus spot, and even if you wanted to add a whole bunch of pictures in here, you could do that as well. So now back to the front, we have to adhere this flower to the front, and I'm going to use hot glue because I don't have to put the brads through the papers, and I find it's just a cleaner way to add a flower with a brad. So we're going to pull this over And I want the flower to be kind of centered with these two ferns, just like that. Now that the flower is on, we can finish up the card by adding this little bit of bling into a corner. I like to buy clear bling, and then when I have a card that's a certain color, I'll take a Copic marker and I'll actually color the bling with the marker. So in this case, I got a purple marker and I just colored up the bling so it would match. That way you don't have to buy all kinds of bling with different colors. You can just buy one bling and then use your markers to color the bling to match all your projects. So I just love how this looks. This is a very, very decorative card with this big flower. Is definitely, there's a lot of showcase to the front of this card. And as we go on the inside, we have the nice card mat and the little surprise pullout. I really like how this card came together, and I think the little surprise with something pulling out adds a lot for both the sender and the recipient to have some fun with. So I hope you enjoyed this card. I thank you so much for joining me. There are still 2 more cards left in this card kit series. Please check out my website at Kellyscards.ca, and I thank you so much for stopping by.